Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, I'm a goddess guide and intuitive tarot reader. Welcome back to my returning viewers, welcome if you're new here. I'm so happy to have you all here. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are in the world. So today's reading is going to be all about you're destined for abundance. Increase your self-worth with the abundance goddesses. And we have 3 beautiful abundance goddesses for you to choose from today. So if you are drawn to the first goddess, Lakshmi, with fortune as her keyword, card number 27. Or for those of you who like to choose with crystals, for pile number 1, I've got the chalcopyrite crystal here. So if you are drawn to either the Lakshmi card or the chalcopyrite crystal, you'll be pile 1. Timestamps will be in the description box below as always. If you are drawn to the Nike card with ambition, card number 38, or the gold crackle quartz crystal, you will be pile number 2. And for pile number 3, if you are drawn to Goddess Oshun with generosity, card number 40, or for you, pile number 3, we have the citrine. Excuse me. Apologies if my voice is a little bit croaky, guys. I've had a bit of a lurgy the past week and a half, so hence is why this video is taking quite a while to come out. I haven't been too well, so I'm hoping my throat will last for this reading because I've been wanting to do it for so long, so fingers crossed it lasts all right, but apologies if my voice is a little bit more croaky than normal. Okay, my loves, pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose which pile is drawing you in. Trust your intuition. If more than one pile is calling to you today, it may be that there are messages for you today that you need to draw on from more than one pile, but just take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, my loves, I'll see you in your pile. Hi there, pile number 1. If you chose the beautiful Hindu goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, abundance, and prosperity, this will be your reading all about you're destined for abundance, increase your self-worth. Or if you chose the chalcopyrite crystal as well, this will be your reading. Okay, so pile number 1, I'm going to start off actually with reading directly from the Goddess Power Oracle because I feel called that there are specific messages in the empowerment message here for someone. So let's just start off with that, and then I'll get into the channel messages that came through with your oracle cards that I've pre-pulled, and then I've also got some tarot here for you, which we will get into to get a little bit more detail on how you can step into that abundance and increase your self-worth. So let's start off with the empowerment message. When the Hindu goddess Lakshmi comes to visit, she heralds a celebration of your purpose, wisdom, and compassionate prosperity. All your experience and all your skills are rich with meaning and purpose. As a result, you can expect to see evidence of this wealth in the world around you. You have the ability right now to create great success in your life, and what you have to offer has exalted value. The goddess of luck and prosperity says it's time to share your good fortune with others, and she will show you how it multiplies when you apply gratitude, praise, and a commitment to serve. If it's material success you intend, you shall co-create it. If it's a rich relationship life, you will attract and develop it. You are a magnet for miracles. Nothing is out of reach when the goddess Lakshmi comes calling. Beautiful. So what really stuck out for me there is the part about you have the ability right now to create great success in your life, and what you have to offer has exalted value. So the chalcopyrite crystal is a wonderful crystal to actually help with that because it really helps clear barriers to achieving your goals. And it's a stone, whoopsie, it's a stone, not on the floor, sorry, pile 1. It's a stone of manifestation. It helps to really tap into that energy of abundance and feel that feeling as if your manifestations have already manifested, because it's all about kind of feeling prosperity and abundance within so that it can then be cultivated without in the external world, right? So as within, so without, or as above, so below. So it's kind of like chalcopyrite can help activate that sense of like, you know, you can see all the little gold flecks on it. Well, hopefully you can see the little gold flecks. It's kind of like seeing that, you know, the nuggets of abundance already within you, that you already contain the wealth, you already contain the prosperity, you already contain all the wisdom, you already are your manifestation in a sense, like you already have it. It's that energy of like feeling the gratitude for the abundance before it actually shows up on the outside. So really feeling it, feeling the wish fulfilled, feeling the energy as if it's already come to you, feeling the riches, as if you've already had this kind of windfall that's pouring down here. So yeah, I feel like there's something as well. It was speaking about purpose. So I feel like for many of you, once you are fully stepped into your purpose, which I feel like for most of you on this channel, many of you are already in the process of doing that. Some of you are already living your purpose, others of you are just in the process of stepping into it. So you'll all be at slightly different stages, but you'll know where you're at with this, in terms of, it might be that you've just started stepping into something, but you're yet to see the external wealth and prosperity show up on the outside. And so Goddess Lakshmi and the chocolate pirate crystal can really help you to kind of start to manifest things on the outside as well, and start to help you to actually, like it says, see evidence of this wealth in the world around you. It says you can expect to see evidence of this wealth. So start with that energy of expectation. Start with that energy of gratitude. Like, yeah, absolutely, I'm so worthy of this. I feel the abundance that's coming to me. I expect to see abundance for this work I'm putting out in the world, for living my purpose, for sharing my wisdom. Like it says, you can create great success in your life, and what you have to offer has exalted value. So I feel like as well, this stone can help with boosting self-esteem and self-worth and all of that. So seeing the work that you have to offer as actually, yeah, being of exalted value, that it is valuable work that you're putting out there. You do have nuggets of wisdom within you that are very valuable, that are exalted. They are something that is worthy of receiving abundance in return for sharing it with others. So that is really beautiful. Let's get into your oracle cards now. Excuse me. Apologies if you missed the introduction. Apologies if my voice is a little bit croaky. I haven't been too well over the past week. I'm just kind of coming out the other side of a bit of a bug. So yeah, it might be, I might sound a little bit croaky, so apologies for that, but hopefully it'll last for the reading. So straight off the bat, for your first oracle card, we've got Companion, and the light attributes are loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. And shadow attributes are betrayal by misusing confidences and loss of personal identity. I'm not really going to get into that today because I don't feel like that's particularly relevant here, but let's focus on the light attributes of loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. I feel like for you, pal number 1, you are you're a very loyal person. I feel like you're very loyal to your purpose. You're very loyal to other people. I'm definitely picking up strong empath vibes. So I feel like for many of you, you're a wonderful support person for others around you. You're able to like I said, share your wisdom. You're kind of that friend who people go to you. They turn to you in times of crisis or in times of need, when they need support, when they need encouragement, when they need some wisdom. And you're that person who can be that companion for other people. You can be that support system for others. You're very fiercely loyal and very empathic, very understanding, very companionable, very easy to get along with. And we've also got Venus here as well. So that in conjunction with Companion definitely tells me that you are a very loving person. You know, being ruled by Venus, it's this very feminine energy, you know, so I feel like, yeah, you have a lot of... potentially have a lot of friends around you, or a lot of people who really love to be around your energy. It's that very Venusian, very loving. Oh, and the sun's just come out and shone on your reading. Yeah, I feel like you are that, you know, and this card is very yellow as well. It's like you're a ray of sunshine for people. Oh, that's so beautiful, part number 1. You are this ray of sunshine. Like, you bring this warmth, this optimism, this joy to other people. This sense of like the very goddessy, very divine feminine, very yeah, just very sweet, very grounding energy. Some of you may be an earth sign, particularly Taurus, because Taurus is the earth sign that's ruled by Venus. So you could be Taurus, sun, moon, rising, or north node, or even Libra as well. Definitely with the sort of the 2 figures here, and Venus is a planet that rules Libra. So yeah, even if you're not, you know, Libra sun or Taurus sun or rising, or have one of those signs really strong in your chart, it may still be that you have this Venus energy that really is around you. You're really able to tap into that Venusian energy, which is very much about love and, you know, celebrating life and joy and sensuality and creativity and you know, being able to take time to kind of smell the roses, and being able to, and we've got with the Lakshmi card, she's got a lot of like flowers all around her, and she's adorned with beautiful jewels. So I feel like for some of you, you might, you know, that could be something that's quite important to you, like dressing very beautifully. You know, both these figures here are also dressed, you know, very prettily. You know, you may have long hair as well, like all the figures here, they all have long hair. So you could be very beautiful both inside and out. I'm kind of getting that energy of that very like feminine, soft, sweet, nurturing, loving, kind, compassionate, empathic. Wow, your guides are just coming through being like shower pile one, and like all of the compliments. I feel like you need to hear this, because maybe this is something, you know, with chalcopyrite, I did mention this boosts your self-esteem. So maybe for some of you, pile one, you might not really see these things about yourself. You might have low self-esteem or not really value these things in yourself, because when I was reading out the description of Lakshmi, it was talking about your wisdom being of exalted value, or like your, what was it specifically? I think it was your wisdom. Just what you have to offer. So whatever it is that you have to offer, being, you know, a good friend, being a good companion, being a good partner, being, you know, a good colleague, a good client, a good, you know, perhaps if you're starting a business, a good, you know, perhaps you're doing something that's being, you know, working with other people where they come and you're able to offer some kind of support to them in some way, you know, like a type of counseling or a type of coaching or something along those lines. And it's like you're you know, that is something that, like, whatever it is that you're offering, it has exalted value. It's very worthy, it's very worthwhile. So, and I'm just seeing as well the commitment to serve. I feel like you have a strong commitment to serve as well, with that loyalty, the companion, the Lakshmi card talking about, you know, tapping into that energy of being really committed to serving. I feel like that is going to stand you in really good stead. It's going to be something that is going to help you to start to see abundance in your life. Like the more committed you are to serving serving the goddess, essentially, is what I'm hearing. So some of you may do something related to being some kind of priestess, some kind of healer, some kind of like, you may work with divine feminine energy, with Venusian energy, or goddess Aphrodite, goddess Venus, Mary Magdalene, goddess Mary. So it could be a specific goddess, it could be goddesses in general, it could be divine feminine energy, it could be that quite specifically, or it could even just be that in a more general way, in terms of like, you know, using your intuition, you know, using your feminine energy in whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you offer. So you don't have to be sort of like what you're doing as your purpose is specifically something related to being a priestess, but I definitely feel like whatever it is, you definitely tie in a lot of very beautiful Venusian energy. And I'm also hearing as well, like for some of you, if you do have Libra in your chart as well, or just have Venus, you know, very prominently in your chart. Venus also rules like the arts and aesthetics and things like that. So some of you may, you know, your purpose or what it is that you're offering the world may be something related to, you know, something to do with making spaces look very beautiful, or doing merchandising, or creating art, or creating something that just brings like a beautiful sense of like peace and harmony, and it's very beautiful to look at. But like, you know, beauty is a very it's a very divine feminine, very Venusian energy. It's a very high vibrational energy, and I feel like that is something that maybe for some of you it's certainly something that isn't necessarily valued in society. So it could be that there's a little bit of low self-esteem, or a little bit of like not valuing your work, not exalting it in that way. And I feel like that kind of really stuck out for me with that Lakshmi message, that empowerment message coming through, to really exalt the work that you do, to exalt whatever it is that you offer the world, whether it is supporting people, being a guide, being a priestess, being a healer, being someone who works in the arts or the creativity, or you create beautiful spaces, or you design something, whatever it may be. It's like it brings a very high vibrational energy into the world, and it is very exalted. And the more that you feel that frequency and really connect in with that, really value it yourself, even if necessarily other people around you don't, or society doesn't, or whatever it might be. If you really value that divine feminine energy, the more that you value it, the more you will start to see the value show up on the outside as well, right? It was all about, that card was all about like as within so without, like what, you know, feeling that energy from within first, and cultivating that energy from within first, will start to see the manifestation show up. And also, again, they're stressing about potentially getting hold of some chalcopyrite if you can. You could always just get like a little tumble stone. I don't believe these are too expensive, the small ones, and that will really help you to tap into that energy of manifestation and boosting your self-esteem, and the energy of feeling that prosperity within yourself first, feeling that success. And we've got Angel of Balance here. Yeah, so what I'm feeling from this, with this in context with these other cards here, Companion and Venus, I feel like for some of you, there may be a need to create some balance between how much you give to others. So there may be a little bit of a tendency, particularly for those of you who are empaths. You know, many on this channel are, or many in this community are. Certainly if you work in anything where you're being a guide, a healer, a priestess, things like that, you will often have that empath energy naturally. And that it's a very beautiful energy, and it's a very needed energy, but also one of the key challenges of that empath energy is to learn to create healthy, strong, energetic boundaries and not overgive, because it's so easy to, in your sort of loyalty to others and in that unselfishness, as it spoke about on the companion card, in that desire to really help others and really, you know, give your love and your support and your time and your energy, and your wisdom and your guidance and everything like that. It's like it may sometimes tip a little bit into overgiving, or ending up sort of, you know, a little bit drained or a little bit burned out or something like that. So that's just kind of coming through as a little heads up for some of you, or a little bit of a warning about, like, the more you step into your purpose, the more you step into these offerings that you're bringing to the world, the more important it is to keep balanced, and to keep that balance between, like, you know, your energy, learning where to discern where you may have picked up and absorbed energy from others, and finding ways to clear that energy out. And I'm also hearing balancing the head and the heart as well. So there may be something for some of you, maybe you're kind of weighing something up about, like, potentially what path to take, or how much time and energy you put into this work that you put in the world or something. And maybe your head is kind of saying, you know, do one thing and, like, sort of focus on your day job or something like that, but your heart's kind of pulling you in this direction to kind of help people and serve humanity, and that kind of, you know, as I spoke about with the Lakshmi card, that commitment to serve. I feel like there's a really strong commitment to serve, which is really beautiful and really important and really needed. But it's also like just making sure that, yeah, that's balanced with, like, you know, meeting your needs, you know, making sure you can still put food on the table and all of that. Because I'm getting two groups here. For some of you, the balance is on one end of the spectrum, where you may, or it may be already that you're established in some path, and that's perhaps a little bit more satisfying to your mind and to your logical self, and, you know, that might be bringing in a certain level of abundance. And what I'm hearing is it pays the bills and everything like that, and you're successful in it, but maybe it isn't bringing you the emotional fulfillment that you're looking for. And so there's a need to kind of find that balance with that emotional side. And with, you know, with Venus being here, this is all to do with what you love and what you value. So maybe the work that you're doing, or where you're currently earning your income or something, may not be something you truly love or value. And so there may be a need to kind of like, okay, well, can you maybe do that, say, you know, perhaps reduce your hours a little bit at work, and then spend a little bit more time doing this work that you do really love and value. And so finding that balance there, and balancing the head and the heart, and having, you know, that opportunity to create some abundance for yourself with something that you really do enjoy, and something that you really do love, and something that, you know, maybe brings you soul family or companions, or you know, you have people around you who really love what you're doing and really enjoy what you're kind of putting out there. For others of you, it may be the other way around. I'm also kind of getting a vibe of someone who's perhaps very empathic, very sharing, very caring, very giving, and they're maybe burning themselves out. They're maybe giving too much of their energy towards this soul work, towards this, you know, these beautiful offerings. And maybe there's something where you're not quite, it's like you're kind of maybe over giving it without proper, what I'm hearing is proper financial recompense, or that's a strange word, reimbursement, I guess, or proper financial, like, reciprocal energy coming back to you. And I just saw 11:11 on the clock, which is all about alignment. So there's something around coming into better alignment, or a healthier balance between what you're giving for free, or what you're giving people in terms of your support and your energy and your love and your care and all of that. Making sure that you're also, particularly if it is a new business you're starting, or a new platform you're putting work out there, or something like that, making sure that there's a bit of a balance with the value that you're seeing in return, that you're not always kind of, you know, because sometimes with this kind of work, like, especially again with Venus being here, like, you could love it so much that you're just like, I don't care, I just want to do, you know, it could be tarot readings, or I just want to do counseling, or I want to do you know, care work for people just all day long, and I could do it all day, and I don't care if I'm paid or not, or something, or I don't care if I, like, as you know, like, maybe you're sort of just scraping by, or you're just getting enough to pay bills, but like, it's like there's not really enough, there's not enough there for you to kind of really enjoy your life or something. And so there may be something around creating a bit of balance, you know, either raising your fees, or you know, starting to, you know, only take clients who can afford to actually pay you for the work that you're really offering, and the time and energy that you're putting into it, making sure that you're receiving that reciprocal value. There's something around balance here. And you'll know which end of the spectrum you fall into. You know, tune into your heart, and you'll know where you may be out of balance, and where you need to kind of come into a little bit more balance. So let's have a look at your other cards. We've got 7th chakra with Archangel Uriel, card number 41. Yeah, I'm definitely getting sort of priestessy vibes again with this, with the crown chakra being here. I feel like for many of you, with this like crown she's wearing, it's kind of like I'm getting this sovereignty energy in terms of the crown chakra is all about your spirituality, your spiritual connection, the connection to the divine. I kind of picked up someone who's maybe, or a few of you maybe, who are stepping into that role of being like a channeler, a medium, a coach, a guide, a healer, a priestess, something like that. And I feel like you can reach that sovereignty, you can reach that financial sovereignty as well, that self-sovereignty, through your gifts, through your 7th chakra gifts, through that connection with the divine, like through having a spiritual led business, or a soul business, or you know, soul services, or, you know, or it could be as well with the book here, it could be through writing. So it could be, sharing, like writing a book about something, some kind of spiritual related topic, or like it could be angels connecting. I'm kind of picking up now someone who may be a medium as well, or something. And it may be that you share your experiences through writing, through, it could be a book, it could be a blog, it could be just on some kind of platform or something, maybe even Instagram, writing posts or something like that. But I definitely feel like what's highlighted, you know, both from the Lakshmi card and this card, is that like you can receive abundance in your purpose. You will receive abundance once you're fully stepped into your purpose. It is destined for you. You can manifest that, and you can have that self-sovereignty. For those of you that are looking for that financial freedom and that self-sovereignty and that ability to kind of, you know, design your day and, you know, work from home, or have location independence, or, you know, be able to decide how many hours you work, or, you know, that could be part of this balance thing as well, as like, you know, making sure you're creating a good work-life balance in this work as you step into your purpose more, like making sure that you're not just working all hours of the day on your business, but you're also taking time for yourself and your friends and your family, to be a good companion as well. But I feel like for many of you, you can receive wealth, you can receive abundance through your spiritual purpose, through your soul purpose, through putting your work out there, through your connection with the divine, and also that opening up that connection even more. You'll get guided on how to receive that abundance, on how to step into that self-sovereignty. I feel like I might have done, if I remember, I'll try and link it below, but I feel like I might have done a reading about sovereignty. I talk about it quite a lot on my channel, and I think I might have done a specific reading. It may have been quite a while ago, so if you feel called to that, that may be for you. For some reason that just came through to mention it, so maybe that there's some additional messages for some of you if that's something you're really wanting to step into. I can't remember which reading it was, but have a wee look on my channel. We've got card number 12 with affection. I'm just seeing mirror work here. What I'm getting really strongly is mirror work. Raising your self-esteem came up with the chakra pyramid, so I feel like there's something around doing something like mirror work where it's a Louise Hay technique, so you can look that up a little bit more if you want to know a bit more about it. But essentially it's like looking into the mirror and saying affirmations about yourself, and it may be that big grand affirmations like I am so wonderful and I am the most beautiful person in the world, and everyone loves me and my work is highly exalted and valued. That might be too much at the beginning. It may be that you have to start really small, with some pivotal affirmations that kind of pivot from where you're at now. If you're someone who kind of has low self-esteem or low self-worth, or looks at yourself in the mirror and is like, oh my gosh, and you say you have sort of negative beliefs about yourself, it may be that you just need to pivot towards slightly more positive things initially, like maybe my work will be received well. Maybe it's worthwhile me trying to charge a little bit to my clients and see how that goes. Maybe I am a lovely person. Maybe my friends do like my company. Just kind of starting gently with little things like that, and gradually working up to the bigger things, because sometimes it can feel really incongruous if you have, for 20 years of your life, 30 years of your life, 40 years of your life, you've had a negative self-talk going around or low self-esteem, and then suddenly you start trying to say affirmations and they just feel completely wrong. And so starting with little pivot ones, whilst doing mirror work or something like that, because I feel like there's something to do with what I'm hearing is you're not seeing yourself accurately. How you perceive yourself is not how the divine perceives you. It's sort of upgrading your self concept, upgrading your self perception to how the divine sees you, and working on your crown chakra will help that, so that you're not kind of just there in your thoughts with all the conditioning and all the kind of negative self-beliefs that have been swimming around in there. It's once you can kind of really open your crown chakra, and I feel like for most of you in this pile, you already do have a fully open crown chakra, but maybe there's a little bit of lack of belief in the guidance that's coming down. I feel like you're very good at giving love to others. You're very good at being loyal and compassionate and unselfish and caring and telling other people really nice things. But when it comes to yourself, looking at the mirror and giving yourself love and giving yourself kindness and being that companion, that true companion to yourself, I feel like some of you maybe struggle with that a little bit. And that's where there's needing to work on your self-worth, so that you can really manifest this abundance and prosperity that is destined for you. That will really help. Doing that self-love work will really, what I'm hearing is it will shift mountains, it will move barriers. So yeah, working on sort of both your crown chakra, I feel like is highlighted, and also with the green here, your heart chakra as well. So rose quartz crystal is really good for self-love and for the heart chakra. I'm also seeing Taurus here, so another message, another confirmation for those of you that are Taurus with, we had the Venus which rules Taurus, and then we've got the symbol of Taurus here. excuse me, a lot to do with Taurus and Venus energy is a lot to do with, you know, it rules the second house, and it's to do with love, value, what you value, self-worth, you know, what's important to you. You know, it can be related to like material things as well, but it's a lot to do with sort of cultivating that sense of self-worth from within, cultivating, you know, and working out what your values are, working out what's really important to you, valuing yourself, like doing that mirror work, or doing that, you know, self-love, self-concept work is really, really important. Let's move these up a little bit, put this over here. Okay, we have also got open, say yes, expand through the extremes, and trust life. Yeah, there's something around trust here. I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of just, again, I'm seeing this, her crown, I don't know if you can see, there's like these little lights around her crown chakra. So yeah, and the same little stars are also around her crown chakra here as well. So I feel like some of you may be going through another level of like spiritual awakening right now. You may be having quite intense crown chakra. I'm hearing like you might be getting headaches and things like that. That can sometimes happen when there's a lot of energy trying to come down through your crown chakra, a lot of downloads and things like that. So I feel like, and also potentially if there's a resistance to that energy that's trying to come down, like if your guides or, you know, if the universe is trying to send you beautiful, loving energy, and your kind of self-concept and your system, your current energetic system is still stuck in like low self-esteem, low vibrational energy, low self-worth, negative beliefs, negative self-talk, things like that, it's going to create like a discord, an energetic discord, and it may create some physical symptoms, or you may just feel very out of sorts or things like that. So I'm definitely getting some of you might be going through, particularly if you are being called to kind of step into your purpose even more and like share your gifts and bring your offerings to the world, as this Lakshmi card talked about. You know, your offerings are like what you have to offer is exalted. It does have value. So if you're being called to really share that with the world in whatever form, whether it's a book or a platform or a channel or a business, whatever it might be, you might well be getting like a lot of downloads about how to do that. And with this guidance about opening, it may be that like for some of you, you haven't sort of fully embraced that yes yet, where you're like, okay, yes, I'm opening to this. I'm really ready for this. I'm kind of really surrendered. I'm here to receive that guidance, that wisdom, that energy, and to fully step into it, and expand through it, and really trust it. I feel like maybe you're better at maybe guiding and supporting others and receiving that energy for others, but when it comes to yourself, then there may be a lack of trust in what's coming through for you. So there's really a need to I'm just seeing as well with the betrayal by misusing confidence, is I'm now kind of feeling a bit like someone may have done that to you. There may have been some kind of betrayal of your confidence or something, loss of personal identity. So maybe that could be preventing this trust in life. Certainly, yeah, when you have had betrayal, that is the opposite energy to trust, right? Like it's a betrayal of trust. So that can often create blockages in the heart chakra in particular, and the crown chakra, around like trusting what the universe is guiding you towards, trusting that the universe is supporting you at all times, so there may be some wounds there to work on a little bit, but I don't feel like that's not I feel like that's something very much that you can do, that's within your capability. I don't feel like this is necessarily a huge big piece of shadow work that you need to go and spend years on. I just feel like there's a little bit of self-concept work, a little bit of like, trusting the universe again, a little bit of self-love, boosting your self-esteem, reconnecting with your heart chakra and kind of reopening, retrusting in life again. And then finally we have Tribe of the Kindred, card number 10, as your Love Your Inner Goddess card, which is really beautiful. I feel like with the number 10, this is a number of completion. So I feel like you're nearing getting to the end of some kind of cycle or completing something, where when you're able to do that, you'll attract your true like soul tribe as well. And I feel like it's interesting, we've got two cards here that have two two feminine figures on them. So, you know, it doesn't matter how you identify. You don't have to be a woman, but there's just, yeah, two figures on both cards. So that sense of partnership, companionship, soul tribe, you know, soul friends, soul family, soul clients, maybe someone you collaborate with or something like that. It could be as well. There's like kindred spirits. It's come out under Venus as well, the planet of love. Kindred spirits are here for you. Let's read the guidance from the Love Your Inner Goddess book, and then, and then I will get into the tarot for you. So card number 10. Okay. Home is where the heart is. Give your heart permission to reveal to you the people, places, and activities that feel like home for you. You are in a phase of transition in your life, casting off that which is not true to your heart in favor of that which really feels like it belongs in your world. Yeah, that was what I was speaking about, the Venus and Taurus energy, about like figuring out what you value, what's important to you, what you love, what you want to do, what you're being called to do. So yeah, definitely that and that whole head versus heart thing as well, casting off that which is not true to your heart in favor of that which really feels like it belongs in your world. Sometimes the mind resists, thinking that if we let go of too much, we'll be left with nothing, and that it's better to hold on even if something isn't right. This prevents you from being able to find your way home. It's safe to trust your heart as it attracts into your world that which is truly meant for you. There's a place where you belong. Maybe you found it, or maybe you're still looking. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to find it. What matters is that you believe you deserve a real home for your beautiful heart, and that you don't give up until you are there. Sometimes that means leaving what you had once hoped would be your home, perhaps more than once, until you find it in the truest, most meaningful and enduring way. The quest for intimate, soul-deep belonging begins with you, with learning to love and care for yourself and to feel at home within your being. When your heart is ready and divine timing is right, you will attract and increase your soul tribe. Maybe one person at first, then another, then another. Trust in the higher purpose of divine timing. Sometimes delays or breaking away from past connections are how we find out more of who we are and what we need. Trust that you are worthy of love and that you know how to love. Make peace with the past. All your experiences have helped you know yourself and become wiser. Remember that your tribe is looking for you just as you are looking for them, and will love you just as you love them. Be at peace, beautiful soul, for your soul tribe, your spiritual family, are part of your divine destiny, and you are a part of theirs. And there's a sacred ritual here, which is to place one hand on your heart and say the following invocation aloud. I call upon my kindred soul tribe, my spiritual family, the true home for my heart. May we be blessed to find, recognize, and love each other at the perfect moment in the most beautiful way. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, I feel like that might be all the messages, but let me just pause for a minute and see if there's going to be more that might come through on tarot. One sec. Okay, my loves, I've just checked in with my guides and your guides, and I'm not going to do tarot. I'm just going to finish off with the Sacred Self-Care Oracle instead and get some self-care messages on things you can do to increase your self-worth. And we've got Plan a Vacation, card number 39. So yeah, maybe for some of you, going away somewhere, going on holiday could bring through either some much needed relaxation, rest, inspiration, joy, maybe connections as well. You might meet someone. Yeah, also it just may help you to feel more abundant as well, even if you don't necessarily have the means to actually go on a vacation yet. Just being in that energy of acting as if and enjoying planning something, you might just find that some kind of manifestation comes about, some sort of opportunity comes about that allows you to actually go somewhere, even if like it doesn't feel like that's possible right now with where you're at. Even just planning, the act of planning it, maybe, you know, getting some magazines or, you know, doing a Pinterest board, or, you know, coming up with where you'd like to go, thinking about it. It could be, yeah, there could be something there, something in the act of doing that could be very important. And we've also got card number 8 with chanting. Yeah, so I'm kind of getting, maybe for some of you, finding some kind of mantra. There's plenty of Lakshmi mantras. Some of you might already have a connection with Lakshmi if you chose her. There's loads on YouTube, so find some kind of mantra or some kind of chanting that supports you. If you're not so much into like a specific mantra, like a goddess mantra or something like that, you could always just do mirror work or like affirmations, something like that, something where you sort of enter a meditative state and then you repeat a phrase or a word or something along those lines that kind of helps you feel peaceful, helps boost your, I'm kind of seeing this like spiral of like vibrational energy rising. So doing something that kind of helps your vibrational energy to rise. Could even just be meditation. And also with the number 8 as well, that's the number of abundance. We are in an 8 year in numerology. Apologies if you can hear drilling in the background. There's a construction site a couple of houses down from me, so it's a little bit noisy occasionally. Let's get one more. What other self-care can part 1 do? Increase their self-worth. Oh wow, oh, I like this. Abundance planning. Okay, yeah, so for some of you, actually starting to make a plan if you are wanting to maybe, you know, do your soul work more in the world, you know, find that balance between kind of your day job and your soul work, if that's what it is, or maybe you've started your soul business and you're needing to bring in more abundance, starting to do some planning of like, what can you do to bring more abundance in? What can you do to kind of, you know, what sort of marketing techniques or what kind of different things can you do to promote your services where you might be able to get more clients, or what kind of things and places can you do, as this tribe of the kindred talked about. It's like find your tribe, find your places where you belong, find what you enjoy. So like maybe it's with these figures sitting here in the lotus position, they look like they're at a yoga studio, so maybe it's like promoting your work at a yoga studio or meeting people through yoga or something like that, or on a yoga retreat as well. It could be plan a vacation to do a yoga retreat or a holistic retreat or something like that. It may be that gives you some inspiration, some ideas, some contacts, some connections, a place where you can like potentially meet some of your soul tribe, or you can meet some of your soul clients, something like that. So doing some kind of abundance planning to both, yeah, potentially allow you to have vacations in your life as well. I think I spoke about that with, which card was I talking about? Oh yeah, the sovereignty card, the crown chakra here with the 7th chakra. And some of you stepping into that self-sovereignty, having the ability to kind of like, you know, live wherever you want, travel wherever you want, you know, work from home if you want, or you know, be able to fly somewhere and work from somewhere else because you can work online. You've got that flexibility. So doing some kind of abundance planning that allows you to, you know, save a certain amount or whatever it might be, or earn a certain amount. You know, maybe it's like creating something where you can have a certain amount of passive income. So maybe it's something to do with like, you know, your work, putting your work out there in a way, creating some kind of offering that brings in passive income so that you're not necessarily like tied to one location, if that's something that you want. But yeah, doing some kind of abundance planning is definitely highlighted here. So those are all the messages I have, I believe. Let me just tune in and see if there's anything else. Yeah, connecting with Lakshmi. Definitely for those of you that feel called to do some Lakshmi mantras, some Lakshmi chants, or just connect in with her during meditation, maybe do an altar to her, or like you could, yeah, create some kind of altar with like a lot of beautiful, adorn it with like very beautiful things. Lakshmi is also the goddess of beauty. She's very Venusian energy. You know, you can see here, she's very adorned in a lot of jewels. So maybe wearing a lot of gold or putting a lot of gold on the altar, some flowers, all of that kind of thing. Like it's all sort of that high vibrational divine feminine energy that helps you get into that state of receiving. And also they're reminding me again to get hold of chalcopyrite if you can, or pyrite, but chalcopyrite in particular is coming through. It's got this sort of little pink, hopefully you can see that, the kind of little pink flecks in it, as well as the gold, that will really help you to connect with your value within. Okay, my loves, those are all the messages I have for you. I hope that resonated for you. Leave me a comment below if it did. I would love to hear from you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It really helps my channel more than you could know. I really appreciate each and every one of you who's been commenting, liking, sharing. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of my community. I would love to have you here. Check out my Patreon. I also have 2 tiers available on Patreon where I do much more in-depth readings that also include activations and healings. The link is in my description box below. And also check out my website, elstemple.com. I do private readings and healing sessions and a Moon Temple membership. And I also do a fortnightly newsletter. And I blog about the goddesses pretty much every week. So check that out as well if you feel called. Okay, my loves, those are all the messages I have. Have a wonderful week and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. If you chose the Nike card with ambition, card number 38, or the gold crackle quartz crystal, then this will be your reading on increase your self-worth and you are destined for abundance. So pile number 2, I'm actually going to start with reading the guidance from the guidebook as I did with part 1 for each of the goddesses, because I feel like there's a specific message in the empowerment message here today for someone. So Nike is the Greek goddess of ambition, and she asks you to be present to the beauty and richness discovered in your life so far. You have come this distance. So what are your wins? Celebrating them is key right now to enable you to co-create even more. You live in a world where you may have felt that you were not allowed to celebrate your victories lest you be cut down for being self-centered. Perhaps you were raised in a family that discouraged you from shining in an authentic way. Being successful at the game of life requires you to refuse the message that you are too much or not enough. Your biggest win is to be yourself, accepting yourself exactly as you are, releasing the idea that you are flawed in any way, and expressing yourself with authenticity. This is the true power of the victory goddess Nike expressed through you. The goddess Nike has another message to share. If you've been struggling to move to the next level of your life, working hard and putting the time and effort in, you will soon find you are finally winning. Your determination and commitment to your intentions are manifesting in your life with beautiful results. When you are winning, the world wins too. Just remember to share your bounty. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so yeah, what really stuck out for me is the part about your biggest win is to be yourself, accepting yourself exactly as you are, releasing the idea that you are flawed in any way, and expressing yourself with authenticity. There's something around like a big win for you is being able to be fully authentic, being able to be fully yourself. I'm just seeing with the number 38 in numerology that reduces to 11, and 11 is all about being in alignment. Some of you may also be life path 11, which life path 11 often has a very steep, I've talked about this before, so there may be quite a few life path 11s here in this community, but life path 11 is you're usually on a very steep path of ascension, essentially, and you may have gone through a lot of challenges, like I talked about, like there may have been a lot of challenges to accepting yourself and being authentic and being allowed to celebrate yourself and being allowed to just express yourself and be who you are. Maybe in childhood you were, any of your sort of natural self-expression was quashed quite a lot, like pushed down or suppressed. And so I feel like a big win for you in your life, a big thing that will mean you're in alignment is when you're able to like just fully 100% just be yourself and come out in the world and like, be who you truly are and be successful on those terms, like rather than be successful trying to please someone else or trying to live up to someone else's standards of success or trying to sort of act in a certain way that you have been sort of conditioned into, but more about like, sort of essentially being able to like, it's kind of like what I'm hearing is like that would be a Pyrrhic victory in the sense that like you wouldn't necessarily feel victorious even if you got to the top of something that wasn't really you being able to be your true self. Like if you ended up doing that and it's kind of like you had to wear a mask that whole way, it's like that wouldn't really be worth it to you. Like in the end, the thing that is most victorious, like the thing that you would personally feel most victorious with is if you can do something in the world that you are just fully being yourself. You're fully able to express yourself. You're fully able to be authentic. you're fully able to just be you. And definitely I feel like even if you, whether you're life path 11 or not, some of you may have, that may have been quite a big challenge for you to step into that authenticity, or to feel okay expressing yourself, to celebrate yourself for who you are, because there may have been a lot of conditioning around, like, not being self-centered, not being taking the limelight in any way, like not kind of taking up space in some way. You may have been just very suppressed, or very I'm hearing strict. You may have had very strict upbringing or something like that, or just not really been encouraged to shine your light, express yourself, celebrate yourself, celebrate things that you enjoy, celebrate wins that were wins for you, but maybe for someone in your family, like maybe you had to reach really high academic standards or something like that, and so things that were really important to you, like things that you were ambitious with, maybe they weren't valued in the same way. Like maybe you're more creative or more sporty or something else or something, and it's like maybe there was like a lot of expectation put on you in a specific area or something. Or it could also be that you are personally very, I'm kind of also getting it, picking up on a vibe of someone who's also just very driven, very ambitious. Like you really want to win, but maybe you're just very hard on yourself. You might have kind of had a lot of conditioning around being quite hard on yourself, like needing to reach certain standards, needing to reach certain external levels of success before you'll really like take time out to kind of like celebrate yourself. So maybe there's just a need to kind of like, start celebrating yourself now, start celebrating little wins, start kind of like seeing, small things and where you've made small inroads to success, like being like, hey, actually that is pretty amazing that I've done that. This is a difficult path. Like I said, if you are life path 11, like you will be on a very steep ascension path. You will have gone through many challenges, because that is part of that life path, in order to be able to alchemize all that pain into wisdom and be able to be a guide for others, or seer, or something along those lines. I feel like, again, whether you're life path 11 or not, you've maybe gone through some quite difficult things, and so there's sort of a block around like celebrating yourself and the kind of need to win on an external level. And I feel like what's coming through really strongly from the message, and what I'm kind of channeling through, is this need to kind of win first internally, like it's kind of like winning yourself back will be like the biggest win. And so there's something around kind of excavating yourself from some sort of conditioning, excavating yourself from other people's expectations, other people's values, other people's ideas of success, and like really, really connecting with your true authentic self. I feel like the gold crackle quartz will really help you to essentially connect with that sense of like, it's kind of like the gold within, like be able to see the kind of like gold that is within you, and celebrate the gold, like the little gold nuggets that are contained within you. It is a stone of victory. It helps support making decisions. So if you are in business, or you are really, you're really ambitious and you have a lot of goals on the external level, this stone will help you to manifest those things. It helps with, like I said, with business. It's a power stone. It's really good for any financial situations, but it does also help with like just seeing that worthiness within, seeing that gold within. So maybe for some of you, if you struggle to kind of really connect with that inner sense of worth, in a sense of like, seeing that you have already won, or seeing that like any step towards like being your most authentic self is you winning, then this crystal will kind of be able to help support you with that a little bit. So let's have a look at your oracle cards and get the channel messages that have come through. So we've got Slave, with surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. There's a lot coming through. It's interesting. Part 1 had a lot about trust as well. So that's a consistent message across part 1 and 2, the need to trust. There could be something that you're being guided to do. There could be something that you have a choice, like maybe you're at a crossroads or something like that. So it's surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. There's something that, like, I'm hearing like wage slave as well. So maybe for some of you, you feel a bit like like a bit of a wage slave or something, or you're stuck in the job that you're in or something, and you have grand ambitions to kind of start your own business or go your own path or do something that's more authentic to you, something like that. And like if you're feeling guided to do that, there's the guidance is coming through to really surrender to that. And if you've been given that choice, that option, then really trust it if that is what's coming through. Let's get some of your other cards to see what the other guidance is. We've got Scorpio. Ooh, so some of you may be Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or you may just have that Scorpionic energy of being able to, like, that really transformative energy. Again, it's that kind of almost life path 11 energy of like going through a lot of difficulties, a lot of challenges, being able to sense, people's energy, being very emotionally attuned, very sensitive, very energetically sensitive, very able to like go into the depths of someone, understand the depths of someone. And I feel like you're able to do that because you may have gone through a lot of challenging things in childhood, or you may have also like found it very difficult to like be your authentic self. So you've had to do a lot of work to kind of excavate that self. And so like with that Scorpionic energy, it's like you have that ability to kind of connect with others and kind of see beyond the veil, see beyond like the front that they're putting up. Scorpio energy is like they can see the truth, right? It's that investigative energy. It's that like they can deep dive, they can get to the depths of someone, they can just instantly carve away all the bullshit and excuse my French, and just like see the truth of who someone really is in their soul, kind of thing. Like, excuse me, it's like, you have that ability to, that sort of like incisive ability to kind of like really get to the core of someone. So yeah, it could be that is your ambition, is to kind of do something along those lines. Like that could be something like, counseling, therapy, being some kind of guide, some kind of seer. It could be psychic work. It could be doing something like this, like tarot, spirituality kind of stuff, something connected with the occult as well. Or just like hidden, Scorpio is about kind of what's in the depths, what you can't see, what's hidden. So it could be like connecting with, people's subconscious, or with, their shadow, or with what's sort of hidden through. It could be using certain tools like tarot, astrology, divination, things like that. Or it could just be doing energy work, or it could be doing it through a traditional mode like counseling, or some kind of therapeutic thing, Jungian therapy, dream therapy, art therapy. Different things like that. Yeah, maybe this is something you're feeling that calling, which is why there's that surrender to the power of choice, to the divine. You're feeling that calling to kind of go towards something along those lines. Let's have a look at your other cards. We've got card number 34 with door to personal healing and happiness. Yeah, I feel like you've had to go through with that, the lotuses being there. It's like you've had to go through that lotus journey of like, lotuses grow through the most muckiest, murkiest stuff, at the bottom of the pond, and then they become these like beautiful flowers on top that, only open for a short period of time, kind of thing, and they're like really valued. And we've got the rainbow here as well, which is symbolic of like rainbows come out after the rain, so it's after like a lot of like purging and healing and releasing. And they're also symbolic of the chakra system. Maybe some of you do something related to that, or maybe chakra healing could be key to your personal healing. But I feel like whatever your healing journey is, it's like there's something in that journey that is, it could be something that you're feeling very called to go towards, that whatever that healing modality was, or whatever the healing that you've had to do yourself personally is something that you may be being called to work in more. And that's where you've got this choice. Maybe you're at a choice between like, do I stay on my current job or my current career path, which maybe you're very successful at, or maybe you previously had a lot of ambition to kind of go down that path, but now you've reached a bit of a crossroads or a bit of a choice point, and the divine or your higher self is kind of calling you towards this more healing path, this more kind of maybe scorpionic type work, and this depth work, counseling, therapeutic work, whatever it might be, kind of understanding people, understanding emotions, doing readings, whatever it is. There may be something that, and I feel like if you trust where you're being called, where you're being led, it will lead to a lot of happiness. I'm being called to bring all the rest of the cards out, so let's get them all on the table and I'll read the messages together. So we've also got card number 31 with door to value. So she put this up here. got a lot of 30s, 31, 34, and 38. So some of you may be in your either early or late 30s. Particularly if you're in your early 30s, you may be going through a Saturn return. So you could well be faced with like a big choice point, because often Saturn return will cause a lot of transition around that time, as Saturn kind of brings up, big themes around like, your life path and where you're being called to go towards. Usually, I've talked about this before in other videos, Saturn return can often make you aware of where you've been living more in your south node, and you start to feel more of a nudge and a call towards your north node. So some of you maybe Scorpio north node or something like that. That could be why that's coming through, or Scorpio rising as well. That could be another thing. We've got card number 40 with positivity, and we've got Leo energy here. Some of you may be Leo, or you may be called to kind of embrace Leo energy, embrace like shining your light and taking up. Oh yes, of course, because we were talking about with the Nike card about taking center stage. Some of you may have been called, I think in the empowerment message it was saying about how some of you may have been called self-centered or something like that, if you tried to kind of celebrate yourself or take center stage or express yourself in any way, because Leo is very much that big, bold and confident energy that is comfortable like being center stage and celebrating themselves and kind of shining their light and kind of saying, hey, this is me, this is what this is my value, this is my work, this is my offering. It's that sun energy, like just that bright shining energy. And I feel like once you're able to really embrace that Leo energy, that will be your daughter value. We've got after the rain with silver lining, relief, hope, mercy, it's over, acceptance. Interesting that we've got rain here and another rainbow. So you've got two rainbows, pile number 2. So that's good. 2 rainbows in your pile 2. So that's quite significant. 1 second. Sorry, pile 2. I just had to cough. So where was I? Yeah, you've got 2 rainbows here. So rainbows are very significant. Chakra healing may be very significant. But just this general energy of like, rainbows come after the rain. So emotional healing. I feel like, with that, like it's over. There's something that you've gone through. There's some kind of energy that you've purged, some kind of experience that you've been through. Which I feel like I'm going to put this here. I feel like that is something that you can really alchemize, and it's going to actually lead to like it's like a portal to more value. It's a portal to more happiness. Those experiences that you went through, as difficult as they were, it's like this is kind of giving me the star energy in tarot. For those of you that know the star, it's like that energy of like the star kind of often shows like water kind of flowing down from the heavenly realms to the earthly realms. It's like divine healing, and a sense of hope, a sense of like relief, a sense of like the worst is over. You're now over the hard part, you're over the most challenging part, and now like only good things that are come. There's only a rainbow that's going to come at the end of this. Like, but in order to get the rainbow, you have to have the rain. Like the rainbow isn't going to come out without having gone through the rain first. And silver lining as well. It's like there's something as negative as those experiences were, like maybe that's led you down like a different path, like a healing path, and that's the silver lining, that you had to go through the difficult things, and you had to go through those challenging experiences, and through that like emotional something that was very emotionally upsetting or sad or painful, but that has like the silver lining is that out of that you end up getting a new kind of path. There's like a new doorway that's kind of opening up. And finally you've got Precog Priestess with I am enough, mother, daughter, sister, lover, which I'm going to read the guidance from that book in a little bit, but I'm just going to see if there's any more channeled messages from these ones, because yeah, I feel like there's something excuse me, there's some kind of decision, because I specifically brought up about how this crystal leads you, it can help lead you to victory, and supports you to make vital decisions. So there's some kind of choice, some kind of decision that needs to be made. It's like walking through some kind of doorway that will bring value to you, and I feel like you're kind of weighing up whether to go through that, or you've kind of started walking through it. Maybe some of you have started looking towards this path, or started going down this healing journey, and you're wondering how you can maybe like monetize it, or you're wondering how you can like formally offer the healing that you've done on yourself to other people, or something along those lines. And it's just, yeah, it's coming through really strongly about shining your light and embracing your true self, and being in that Leo energy of like putting yourself out there. Being confident, being courageous, being true to yourself, like showing who you truly are. We've also got the blue here with the Peacock Priestess, which is linked with the throat chakra, which is a lot to do with like standing in your truth, expressing your true self, your authenticity, speaking your needs, being able to express yourself clearly. So I feel like maybe some throat chakra healing could be very highlighted. And we've got sort of a blue purpley color here with the Scorpio as well. So yeah. And also with Priestess, there could be something around stepping into being some kind of priestess or healer, a guide, a seer, a support person, for other people who are also going through like healing, or difficulties, or who've also gone through like emotional challenges or distress, or difficult, painful situations. It's like you're able to kind of help them ride out those waves, kind of thing. Okay, they're telling me to read the daughter values, so let's have a look. 31. Okay, new beginnings in finance or career. This card shows a door with a gold coin on it, opening to a place that's filled with light and bright potential. Money, coins, and jewels fly toward you through the open door, revealing a golden city beyond. Excuse me. All of this points to the potential for exciting new beginnings or expansions where work or money are concerned. Perhaps a new opportunity is totally unexpected, or perhaps it's something you've been working toward for quite a while. Either way, keep your eyes open for this new beginning to appear in your life. Know that anything you value may be open to you now. Remain conscious and creative, and get ready to step through the door. Oh, that's exciting. And the affirmation is, my life is opening to endless possibilities of prosperity. The river of abundance flows freely through my door, bringing me unlimited wealth. Wow. Yeah, so part number one, I feel like there's something that you can be very victorious in, but it just requires kind of like, there's going to be a new beginning, a new doorway opening, a new opportunity that's going to come to you. And it requires like surrendering to the divine when that opportunity comes in, with complete trust, to like really just go for it. Yeah, really, really be confident, be bold, be courageous when you are offered this opportunity, or when this new beginning comes about. Yeah, I feel like this new opportunity is going to bring you a lot of healing, a lot of happiness, a lot of emotional fulfillment, as well as financial fulfillment. So wow, that's very exciting. Pile number 2. Let's read the guidance from the Love Your Inner Goddess book as well. Card number 24. If you feel impatient for something to happen, or worried that you are not accomplishing all that you want to achieve quickly enough, then take heart. The universe is working with you, not against you, to bring your dreams to life. Even times when not much seems to be happening are a part of this creative process, balancing out other times when energy becomes active and intense. What will be most helpful for you and your dreams right now is to rest. During that pleasurable rest, behind the scenes, some spiritual magic is going to be created. Yeah, that's where I think there's some kind of new opportunity that's being worked out for you behind the scenes, or a manifestation of some sort, or some money, or a new job, a new career path, a new sort of work, new client, new clients or a new way of working with your clients or something like that. It's like something's being kind of worked out behind the scenes, I feel like. Daily life can get us down before we can even realize what is happening. Trying to do it all can push us beyond our limits, draining our energy and stealing our joy. One moment we are on top of the world, the next moment we wonder what happened and why we cannot rally our spirit. If we do not learn how to rest, exhaustion, crankiness, and illness eventually force our hand. It takes longer to break down and recover and is much more painful than it is to learn to rest as part of our lifestyle. Rest is not only a way to prevent unnecessary suffering, it also has its own value. When we are in restful quiet, we can hear our inner voice and the guidance of spirit much more clearly. We can feel gratitude and take delight in what brings us pleasure. Rest is part of how we live well. Peacock Priestess reminds you that you can see taking rest as an act of love and a way to be a good role model. Don't allow guilt or shame to stop you from taking delight in your downtime. What kind of rest you need will vary. It could be a long nap, painting, listening to music, writing poetry, or practicing meditation, a bath with candles, visiting a temple or church to sit quietly, whether you're religious or not doesn't matter, working in your garden, playing with animals, or going for a walk and being in nature, soaking up a beautiful healing energy. There are many ways to rest. Try some, find out what you enjoy. And the sacred ritual is imagine, feel, visualize, or pretend that the universe is holding you gently and safely in its hand whilst you lay back and relax. Yeah, so it's kind of what's coming through is this, like I'm just getting this sense of like, and relax part 2, like take a deep breath in and relax and feel your energy connect with the earth, feel yourself grounding, connect them with that sense that you are supported, you are enough, you don't need to kind of like do or achieve more in order to like get value. There might be some kind of programming conditioning that you had in childhood that was like, again, I'm kind of picking up that kind of academic thing, like or a lot of striving for achievement, a lot of striving for recognition or something like that, through needing sort of external accolades is what I'm hearing, like external, maybe you had to get a lot of like certificates or sports trophies or, you know, something like that, in order to kind of get love or recognition from your family. And so I feel like there's a need with this, what's coming through really strongly is this I am enough, like really tapping into that energy of like, you don't have to prove yourself, you don't have to achieve anything to be worthy. You are just a divine child of the universe. You are worthy of taking up space. You're worthy of receiving abundance and value. You're worthy of being looked after. You're worthy of being supported. You are enough. Like you are supported by the universe, and it's kind of, there's a need to like connect in with that, like really, again, take a really deep breath and like ground and feel your energy, just relax and like feel yourself taken care of by the universe. Take some time out, take some time to rest, because maybe some of you have been kind of burning the candle at both ends or something, like really burning yourself out to try and like be like towards some kind of ambition or towards something you've been trying to be victorious in, something you've been trying to win, or something you've been trying to prove or something like that. And yeah, it's again like highlighting surrender, ground, rest, like allow things to come to you. Excuse me, it's that feminine energy rather than you, or at least finding a balance between the feminine and masculine energy. Certainly there are times, you know, as it said, sometimes it's time to take action, and sometimes there's a need to like just rest and like ground and allow things to come to you and be in that receptive energy, and not always needing to kind of prove or, you know, strive or, you know, achieve. It's like you are, you know, coming back to the original empowerment message, it was talking about how like the biggest win is you being yourself. The biggest win is is coming into authenticity. It's not kind of winning necessarily anything on the outside, although I feel like you are going to, you know, receive that value, that recognition and all that on the outside anyway, once you're fully stepped into your purpose. But that kind of comes once you've cultivated it within. And I also feel like you won't really be happy earning a certain level of value, no matter how high that is, if it's kind of doing it according to what someone else has told you, if it's not really true to who you are, if it's not really what your soul wants, or if it's not really what your authentic self wants. It's like, yeah, it isn't going to bring you happiness at the end of the day. So the true win, the true victory is being yourself, is you know, and we've started with talking about authenticity and the self, and we've finished with this peacock priestess with I am enough, and this color blue, the throat chakra, like expressing your true self, expressing your authenticity, standing in that authenticity, accepting, as it says, your biggest win is to be yourself, accepting yourself exactly as you are. I am enough, releasing the idea that you are flawed in any way, and expressing yourself with authenticity. That is the true power of the victory goddess Nike expressed through you. So yeah, wow, that's a really strong message. And I feel like, to be honest, those are all the messages I have piled to. I know this was a bit of a shorter reading, but that is really it. There's not a lot else that's coming through. I feel like, to be honest, like you already have all the skills and everything like that for success. There's just this, this need to kind of like really root into feeling enough, feeling worthy, feeling, you know, tapping into your authenticity, shining your light, being, you know, being the true you, being your authentic self. They're just highlighting as well the shadow attribute with the slave card, which is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Yeah, so there's something around like you possibly, like the ambitions that you've gone after up to this point in your life, or perhaps earlier on in your life, were often based on an external authority. It doesn't have to have been parents. It could have been the school, or, you know, other external authority figures. But it's kind of like that conditioned you so much that it's like you were fearful of making your own choices, and fearful of making choices that were authentic to you. Fearful of like expressing who you really were and shining your true light. And I feel like that may have gotten you into situations where you might have been quite controlled, like with this figure. It looks like they're like a doll with like, you know, like a puppet. It's like a puppet being manipulated by a master. And so that could play out in any number of situations. That may have even been playing out in multiple situations in your life. And as I said that, I just saw 1515 on the timer, which I don't know off the top of my head what angel number that is, but some of you might want to look that up if you feel called to check out. You might have been seeing 1515 quite a lot. But yeah, you may have ended up, because through your conditioning, if you had been taught to like, not be like that, it's not okay to be your authentic self, that it's not okay to express your needs, that it's not okay to take up space, that is, you know, that it's really self-centered if you express yourself and try to shine your light, then, you know, you may have ended up really fearing these external authority figures, trying to fit in with them, maybe people pleasing, or trying to like wear a mask in order to like live up to these people's expectations. And then you could have ended up in situations where people kind of manipulated you, where you were kind of like a doll on a string, either in work, like in your career, or in the jobs that you've been in with certain bosses that have kind of treated you like a bit of a slave. Because again, it's like you haven't been confident to make choices that, you know, support what is really right for you. So you've stayed in like sort of domineering situations. So I feel very strongly that for many of you that has been through your work or your career path, your professional path, but it may have also played out in relationships. It may have also played out in friendship dynamics or family dynamics. I mean, it probably likely was originally stemming from like the original experience would have likely been something in childhood, whether it was in your family home or, like I said, in your school or something like that. There was some kind of conditioning that made you feel not worthy as you are. Like, you know, it's like you couldn't be yourself. You weren't enough as you were, or who you were was too much, you know, even. Like the conditioning could have been like, Pal 2, like, sit down and shut up, basically. Like, you're too much. Like, we don't want to see you all the time. Like, we don't want to hear you. You're taking up too much space. You're too self-centered. You're too, like, you know, stop shining your light kind of thing, whatever it was you tried to express. So it's kind of like re-embracing your true self, saying I am enough, you know, Scorpio energy, going into the depths, re-excavating your true self from the depths and bringing it back up to the surface. Apologies for my croaky voice, Pal 2. I've had a bit of a lurgy. In case you missed the intro, I kind of mentioned that. But let's get some... I'm so sorry as well if you've been through anything like this kind of domineering, controlling, manipulative sort of thing. That makes a lot more sense now that I've kind of channeled that through. That makes a lot more sense around the after the rain energy, because there would have been a lot of like emotional clearing and healing, daughter personal healing, a lot of healing that you would have had to have done to like, yeah, kind of cut those strings and take yourself back and reclaim your true self. I'm kind of hearing maybe some of you went through some kind of narcissistic abuse, which can very much like diminish the authentic self. It can very much, you know, excuse me, you can become, you know, you surrender your willpower, you surrender your choice to this external authority because they, you know, they are abusive essentially. And so yeah, there's a lot around like rediscovering your true self and your self-worth. 1 second, pile number 2. Sorry, pile 2. I thought someone was at the door. Yeah, interesting. This pile, there's been a lot of interruptions with my coughing, and then that could just be me, but usually the energy in the reading is sometimes reflective of what has been going on or relevant in some way to the reading. So maybe for some of you, what I'm getting is that there may have been like interruptions to your growth, or to like your, in terms of your ability to kind of really connect with your true self, with your healing journey as well. Maybe there's been stops and starts with kind of going back and forth between perhaps doing things that where you gave your willpower away to this external authority, you know, maybe feeling like you had to please someone or have someone's approval, so you kind of went down certain career paths or made certain choices or something like that, and then maybe you'd kind of swing back a little bit and kind of start to do something that was more authentic to you, something that brought you a lot of healing, something that brought you joy, and then maybe you'd go back again. It's kind of like this sense of like there may have been interruptions to you sort of really getting started on your path, and not to beat yourself up about that, because I feel like that there's a reason that it's been challenging for you, and that is because of what, you know, the conditioning that you had. But I feel like with this after the rain, it's like all of that is over now. It's like it's being kind of like washed away. That cycle is over. They're highlighting the word acceptance. So I feel like you're now in kind of more of a state of acceptance that happened, that those difficult things happened, those kind of domineering situations, whether it was romantic relationships, workplace situations, a family situation. You've extricated yourself from those, or you're in the process of extricating yourself from those. You're on your healing journey now, and there's hope now. You're seeing hope. You're seeing a sense of hope. You're seeing a sense of light, positivity, feeling more positive about your life, and just working on that sense of feeling enough as you are. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to achieve anything. You don't have to live up to anyone else's like conditions to be acceptable, to be, you know, like loved, or to be validated in any way. Like you are enough as you are, pile 2. So let's finish up with some excuse me, with some self-care. What self-care can pile 2 do to increase their self-worth? Oh, pile 1 got this. Abundance planning. Okay, so that's coming out really strongly. Very appropriate self-care for an abundance reading. So yeah, they want you to do some abundance planning. I'm just looking at, so like carving out maybe from your current salary or wage or whatever, it's got like living expenses, education / business, self-development, savings, travel, free. I don't know why they've got me to read this out. I didn't for the previous one. But yeah, maybe there's a need to kind of like what I'm hearing is not put all your eggs in one basket. So maybe like either create more than one income stream, or like carve out sort of baskets in your savings, or baskets in your, I guess maybe that's what I just channeled. So baskets in your savings, maybe you have savings and you're kind of like, that's all got to go towards this one thing, and it's like maybe there's a need to kind of like put some of it towards some self-development, or some of it towards some travel, or something that brings you joy, something that brings you rest, something like that. Or not just like worrying about living expenses. I know it's quite difficult, and I realize the cost of living has really gone up and everything, but what I'm hearing is like you will be taken care of, and there's a need to not be, I feel like they're drawing my attention to this really strongly again, this daughter value. It's like money is going to come to you. So if you're in scarcity at the moment and you're feeling trapped in that, like trust that a new opportunity is going to come through. I feel like in order to see that opportunity and recognize that, there's a need to kind of like rest, as this card talked about, and connect with the divine. I think it talked about like maybe doing some meditation, or being able to like be in that state of receiving, so that you can kind of hear some guidance, because maybe there's been this energy of like go and work and achieve, all kind of maybe for someone else's expectations they've put on you, or conditioning they've put on you. And this, by the way, could also be quite subconscious with that scorpionic energy. This could be all below the surface, that kind of conditioning. And so it may be kind of starting to come into your awareness now that like, oh, actually I've been giving away my power, I've been giving away my choices, my will for what I want to do in my life to this external authority. I'm there's a fear of making your own choices. So maybe there's a need to kind of like, do some planning, particularly if what I'm getting quite strongly is if you've been in a partnership, a relationship where you've been manipulated in some way, where there's been some sense of control. Maybe you didn't have autonomy in your choices around like things that you could do. Like there was a lot of control over like how you spent your money or something like that. That won't be for all of you. That may just be one person. And I really hope you're not in that situation anymore. But in order to get out of it, maybe there's a need to kind of like create more financial independence for yourself, like carve out some savings, carve out some money in some way, carve out an income stream so that you can kind of leave this slave situation behind. That could also apply, by the way, as well, if you're kind of feeling like a wage slave, right? Like if you're kind of like, oh, I just don't want to work at this job, my boss is horrible, or whatever it might be. Maybe it's like needing to kind of like, work out a plan, like maybe create a 6-month buffer or a 3-month buffer or something like that, where you kind of carve out some savings, or carve out some, put aside a pot for like living expenses, a pot for this or that or the other, so that you can like cut those ties and walk away from a job that isn't authentic to you anymore, and it's maybe not honoring you, it's maybe very controlling, or something, and like make a choice to go your own way, and like go towards a path that is calling you, that would make you happy. Let's get some more self-care. Ooh. Spend time with animals. Beautiful. So if you have a cat or a dog or something, spending time with them more. I think this card, the Precog Priestess card, talked about like spending time with animals as well, or getting out in the wild, getting out in nature, into forest or something like that, connecting with just like hearing the bird song, and observing the squirrels as they play, or whatever it is, just getting out in nature, connecting with animals. That could be very healing. And help you. Animals are very, particularly cats, they can, when they purr on you and stuff, it really, it's very, very healing, and can help you to really like rest and release energy. So maybe if you've been considering, I don't know, adopting a cat or a dog, or getting your own pet, or, volunteering at a pet shelter or something like that, that could be highlighted for you. That could be very healing. Oh, gosh. Connect with fire, card number 12, which actually, we had the fire symbol here. And with Leo energy in the sun, it's a fire sign. So fire energy is important. I feel like it's kind of like that, what I'm getting is sparking that spark of like your own inner fire. I'm getting that sacral chakra energy. We've got a lot of orange here with the positivity card, and then like an orange fire here, and fire, the element of fire is also linked with the sacral chakra too. So, you know, that is all about creativity and sensuality and passion, and like what lights you up, what gets you going, what, you know, what do you enjoy, like what do you want to spend time doing. And it's come out over the Peacock Priestess, and this card talked a lot about like, yeah, just spending some time doing things that you actually enjoy, spending some time doing things just for pleasure. Like you don't have to do everything all the time that is about achievement or achieving things on the external. Sometimes like the biggest win is just doing something that feels good and something that's really important to you and that you really enjoy doing. That may not look like a win to anyone else or to your parents or to, you know, like your culture, but like it's a win for you because you're happy, right? Door to personal healing and happiness. What makes you happy? Pile one. That is winning. That is the true win for you. Is like, yes, you are going to get this value and you are going to get opportunities that are going to bring money and everything like that, and abundance and prosperity. Don't worry about that. That is definitely assured for you. But the biggest win, what's coming through really strongly is the biggest win is your personal happiness, and you're like doing things like carving out time and carving out space energetically, and also like maybe if you're in a situation where you're being controlled by someone, like physically needing to carve out space where you can spend time doing things that you really enjoy. So yeah, connecting with fire, maybe doing for some of you as well, like I'm getting doing a fire ritual, a bonfire ritual, or just you know, a little fire ritual if you can in your back garden, or you know, practice fire safety and all of that, of course. But you know, writing down something that, you know, you want to release and putting it in the fire, because, you know, as it burns, that's kind of clearing that energy. So set that intention and put it in the fire. And you know, these kind of things are very powerful. Like I've done things like that before, like working with the elements, you know, setting intentions and using fire to clear. And yeah, water is also very healing as well, and we have the water coming through with the after the rain. So yeah, maybe connecting with the element of water and the element of fire. Water to kind of like heal the emotions and release, and then fire to kind of like burn away and purge anything that is no longer serving you. It could be habits, it could be a way of being, it could be anything that's blocking you from being authentic. Yeah, whatever you feel called to burn away. It could be a certain person, it could be, you know, a job that you want to let go of. It could be an old relationship, you know. Yeah, whatever it is that's blocking you essentially from your happiness. But that's very much strongly coming through as like that's kind of the true win. And also with the dove there as well. Doves are symbolic of peace, and I feel like what I'm getting is like your serenity, your peace of mind, your happiness is the most important thing. Once you have carved out a life where you have those things, that is a win. That is like Goddess Nike coming through being like, yes, pile two, you have won at life now. Like you are winning. You're able to be your authentic self. You're able to earn value in some sort of way that, you know, you've got some sort of, you've grasped some sort of opportunity where you can earn value through just being your true self, your true authentic self. You're doing things that make you happy. You're doing things that are healing, maybe even bringing healing to others. Could even be like with these two cards, the being out in nature and animals, and this card with a group of people being around a bonfire out in nature as well. It could be part of your healing, and maybe even part of your path is to do something outside, something out in nature. Maybe taking people on guided like nature retreats, walks, like you know, circles out in nature or something where you do sort of certain rituals, or you connect with animals to do healing. That's just, you know, one potential option. But those are all the messages I have for you, part number 2. Sorry, I just had another little coughing thing. So yeah, throat chakra healing is coming through. They're reminding me that happened for a reason. So yeah, some of you might also be going through some funny throat chakra stuff. Like, yeah, that's a sign that you need to clear your throat chakra, which, like I said, is all about your authenticity and speaking your truth, and, you know, stepping into your power, stepping into your truth, speaking your needs, all of that. There's a strong need to clear that throat chakra. So yeah, those are all the messages I have for you now. Finally today, pile number 2, I hope that resonated for you. Drop me a comment or an emoji below if it did. I would love to hear from you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It really helps my channel so much, more than you could ever know. I really appreciate each and every one of you who has been liking and sharing and leaving comments. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of the Unstoppable community. I would love to have you here. I also have a Patreon for those of you who are interested in more in-depth and past working goddess readings, where I also include activations and healing as well. Check out the link for that. It's in the description box below. There are 2 different tiers available. I also have a website, elstemple.com. I do a fortnightly newsletter on every new and full moon with cosmic goddess guidance. And also I have a blog where I post about the goddesses, usually roughly about once a week. And I also offer private readings and healing sessions and a moon temple membership. So check out my links below. All the best with stepping into abundance, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile 3. If you chose the Oshun card with generosity, card number 40, or the citrine crystal, this will be your reading on You're Destined for Abundance. Increase your self-worth with the abundance goddesses. So I'm going to start off with reading from the Goddess Power Oracle for this card, the Oshun card. If you want to know a little bit more about Oshun, how to work with her, and some suggestions of rituals, I did do a blog post about her a few weeks back as part of my Goddess Circle series. So check that out on my blog if you'd like to connect with her a bit more, particularly after the end of the reading. If you feel you would like some extra support, that might give you some suggestions. But anyway, let's just get straight into the empowerment message. These cards don't really go too much in depth into like the history of the goddess or anything. It's more about the message, which is what the goddesses wanted me to focus on for today. So we have got a message saying, there is a universal law that centers on unrestrained generosity and flow. Oshun, the benevolent Yoruban river goddess, the representation of nourishment, healing, fertility, and prosperity, reminds you that life herself has given to you freely. You have been offered air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat, and shelter to sleep in. So it is your task to give freely of yourself, no matter how big or small the act, without expectation of receiving anything in return. The goddess Oshun encourages you to allow gratitude to permeate everything you do right now, even the smallest of opportunities and gestures. The very experience of giving and the very experience of giving and being generous with your heart, time, money, assistance, kindness, and care will provide more value than you can imagine. And when you release all attachment to the outcome, you will be surprised to see how the good fortune you have bestowed on others comes back to you tenfold. Oshun reminds you that this is a truth that has existed since time began and will continue until the world's very end. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, so pile number 3, I'm getting quite strongly that, like, I keep kind of hearing like pay it forward, and like this energy of tapping into whatever it is that you're working on, or whatever your offerings are, or whatever it is that you're being called to put out into the world. Like, if you can be really generous with your energy, with your time, with your wisdom, with whatever it is that you're being called to put forth, it will return to you tenfold. But it's kind of like, it may not come to you like directly from the specific source that you expect. There's something around releasing expectation. There's something around just like tapping into that energy of gratitude and generosity and just giving, and somehow like the goddess or the universe will like return things to you tenfold through some, it could be a totally unexpected source. It may be that suddenly there's some like investor who comes to you, like maybe you've been, I don't know, like putting your work out there on some platform or something like that, or to your clients, and either you're doing it for free or you're doing it for like low, you know, like a low sort of pay threshold thing or something, like a pay like people are just paying what they can or something like that, or you're sort of doing it in a kind of charitable way or something, and something will come about, like through you giving of your time and energy and wisdom, something will come about where there's some sort of generosity that will be returned to you, where like suddenly you get like an investor in your business, or suddenly you get like a crazy like amount of money just suddenly flows in from somewhere that you totally don't expect, like I'm hearing like a big tax deduction thing, or a tax write-off, or a check from, because you may have overpaid a load of tax for a load of years and not realize, and suddenly you get a whole lot of money back. Or like one day one of those clients that you've worked with, or one of those people that you supported with your generosity, they become really wealthy, and they turn around and come back and like just give you like a gesture of gratitude, of appreciation of your work, and it's like a big check for like loads of money or something like that. I don't know, it's like release the expectation of outcome is what I'm hearing. Release the expectation of like it needing to come from a specific source of your abundance, needing to be like met, in a direct way from the specific person or situation that you're giving your time and energy to. It may come about in different ways, which is really exciting. I feel like it's this energy of like anything could happen. Be open to being reciprocated in different ways by the universe, maybe in unexpected ways, surprise ways, and not being attached to that as well, like releasing the attachment of needing to see it coming from a certain source, or needing to see it play out in a certain way, because that may be blocking that flow coming to you. It may be blocking, like the universe is trying to be with that generosity energy. It's like the more generous you're being to others, but if you're kind of holding on to like, oh well, I need this to come through like this source kind of thing, like I need to get the money through this job, or I need to get the money through this business, and maybe kind of blocking the universe from like being generous towards you through some other means, because it's like you're kind of blocked from seeing or energetically being receptive to something coming in from something else. So there's just kind of a need to kind of just release attachments. Be open to others being generous with you. The more you're generous with your time and energy, or wisdom, or your offerings, or whatever it is you're being called to be generous with, the more the universe will return that. Like it says, it's like it will return it tenfold. So it's kind of like whatever you put out, you're going to get back tenfold. So your abundance will just really, really grow. Citrine is the stone of wealth and wisdom. So there's something around like, I feel like maybe sharing your wisdom here. Or receiving wealth through that wisdom eventually. Like it may not be direct initially. It may eventually be direct. It may be that, like, say if you're starting a business, that initially you have to start off kind of giving, and then eventually you're able to start like seeing return on all those, all that free wisdom that you gave out, right? So maybe some of you are kind of starting a new pursuit, because also the citrine stone can help with new business and new life pursuits. So maybe you're starting something new. And it might be that just to kind of get experience, or just to kind of like build up a client list, or whatever it might be, like or practice in it, or some testimonials or recommendations or whatever. You have to kind of start off like being quite generous with your time, with your energy, with your wisdom, like just putting things out there. And eventually just trust that all these little seeds of wisdom, all these little things that you're giving, it's like it is going to be returned eventually, but may not be directly from that source. But it may be that you, like by doing that work, like say for example, I'm just going to use the example of tarot reading because it's easy. Like when I started out, long before I even started my YouTube channel, I was part of a Facebook group through a lady I used to know in Bristol. And I did free readings for like it was probably about 45 minutes every, I think it was Monday evening or something like that, on this Facebook group, which gave me really good practice, because up till that point I'd only done readings for like myself, my housemates, a couple of friends, and that was it. And I felt very cool to kind of start sharing it more with others, but I didn't really have any experience yet. I didn't have experience really channeling for like more than one person at a time. I'd only done like one-to-one sessions, and so I started with this group, and for several months, I think it was almost a year actually, I just did free readings once a week. And like there was a group of however many people, like sometimes only a few people would like log in live and watch the reading live, and other times there'd be quite a few, and then people would sometimes watch it on catch up later. So I was channeling for like small numbers of people, but that gave me a lot of experience, right? And yeah, there was no monetary return or anything like that. But then later, as time went on, I didn't necessarily get anything directly from that specific source, but it gave me a lot of confidence. It gave me a lot of experience. It gave me the confidence to kind of start my own stuff, to eventually start my own channel, to realize that I could channel for, I could do tarot readings or do this kind of thing for bigger groups, for more than just one person at a time. I really loved doing it as well. It gave me that experience of being like, yeah, I love doing this. I love, I would do it for free. I'm so enjoying it so much. I'm happy doing it for free. So eventually I got to a point where it was like, okay, I'm confident enough to kind of put it out there and actually do it for clients and all of that. And so it kind of evolved as time went on. So it might be, whether you're doing something like tarot or some kind of spiritual based thing or something completely different. It could be art, could be creative pursuit. It could just be sharing your gifts, sharing your wisdom in some way, sharing your talents in some way, without necessarily having an expectation of return immediately. But I feel like it will definitely come in the long run. When you least expect it, when you release attachment, you will get some sort of abundance. The citrine stone is the stone of success. So whatever it is you're feeling called to put out there, you will be successful in it. It's definitely a stone that helps attract wealth and abundance and all of that. But it's also a stone that I read it's given to generous people only. So it's it's so powerful that it's best to actually only give it to souls who have very generous energy. And I feel like you are one of those people. It's you've been given these gifts because you have that very compassionate energy where you can kind of put that work out there, be of service, share your gifts with others, and be very generous with your time and energy. And in return, the universe will be very generous with you. It's they then trust that the monetary abundance or the financial abundance or material success or prosperity or whatever that comes back to you, it's you're the type of person who's then gonna use it for good, right? You're gonna sure, support yourself and buy some nice things and all of that, but then if there's a surplus, it's you'll use it to help support others, you'll use it to help uplift others, you'll use it to make a difference in others' lives, which is really, really beautiful. I definitely feel like you've got this sort of Oshun, generous, loving energy within you, this generous spirit. So it's just kind of, I feel like it's highlighting that and kind of saying you are destined for abundance. The more generous that you can be with that your wisdom, with your gifts, the more abundance will eventually flow to you tenfold, which is really beautiful. Let's have a look at your oracle card. So we have got teacher. Yes, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. That's that wisdom word again. I'm definitely getting strong, wise woman or wise man, wise sage kind of, or however you identify, wise person vibes from you. You are a teacher. You have a lot of wisdom to share, a lot of knowledge, a lot of skill already within you that you could share with others. And I feel like the more that you share that and are giving of that, the more some kind of abundance will flow to you in some way. So maybe for some of you, you've been kind of holding on to some of that knowledge or experience, or maybe you've been kind of waiting to see a direct return on from that same source that you're kind of sharing that information with. But I feel like maybe you may need to have gone through a certain period of gaining experience or just kind of sharing your wisdom. Maybe the universe has placed you, or your guides have placed you in certain environments where you're meant to just share this wisdom. You're meant to be a teacher, you're meant to be a guide, you're meant to help uplift others. And it may not be that you get direct or very much financial support or very much abundance or prosperity through that initial source, but that in time you will see abundance through the experience that you gain from that, or through like I said, some kind of through you just being generous. Maybe this is, I'm getting a vibe of someone who's gone to teach in in some somewhere overseas or something, in somewhere where that they don't have access to learning the kind of stuff that you teach. Maybe it's teaching something spiritually or something, or it could be teaching a group of people that don't normally have access to education, like teaching young women or young girls in a culture where they're not normally educated. So it's like you're being very generous with your time or energy. Like maybe you've been volunteering, or you've just been doing that, or as part of a charity or something. Excuse me. And it's like, yeah, that time that you've invested in that energy that you've put forward in teaching or helping others or sharing your wisdom with others, in whichever form it is, doesn't have to be like traveling and doing something grand like that. It could just be just sharing your wisdom in your community, in your friendship group, and amongst people that maybe normally wouldn't have access to it, or normally wouldn't have the means to be able to pay for that kind of thing, or something like that. It's like you're giving people who don't, it's like, I'm hearing like equal access. Yeah, so something around access. It's like they wouldn't have access to this knowledge or wisdom. Maybe you're someone who's from a culture where like you've kind of broken out of that and you've gone and learned a lot of things. You've sort of been, maybe you weren't necessarily privileged, but you were able to somehow like break out of a cycle of, say, poverty or lack of education or lack of privileges, lack of access to certain things, and you were able to go and get that somehow, and then you're kind of bringing it back in some way, or you're then like paying it forward as well. That's coming back to that, paying that forward, because I heard that, I was channeling that when I first started your pile, pay it forward. So it's like, yeah, you've been able to gain some kind of knowledge or wisdom, some kind of skill, some kind of learning, some kind of teaching, whether that's through like you've had to kind of use a lot of grit and kind of overcome certain challenges in order to get that, or you've somehow had a certain amount of privilege in your own life, or maybe if this is like spiritual wisdom, you're someone who's gone through a deep and intense spiritual awakening, and you've gained a lot of like spiritual wisdom that now you're being called to like pay that forward. Like that wisdom that you have, it's not just for you, it's for you to share with others, and just trust that like you will be met with abundance in return in some way. Like it will come back to you in some way. What else have we got? We've got Lilith. Ooh, yeah. So I'm kind of getting this as, you know, strong like energy about standing up for yourself, like reasserting yourself. Also kind of like Lilith is kind of like she won't stand for you know, being devalued or being like not respected, or you know, being subjugated in some ways. I'm kind of getting again this idea of like working with young women or young girls who have been in a culture where like women were expected to be subordinate, or they were expected to like, you know, like maybe there was certain conditioning around like, oh, women are just good for domestic skills, like they need to be subordinate to their husband, or they need to defer to male authority, and they, you know, there's no point educating them, you know, or something like that. And like you've got this Lilith energy of like, hell no, like nah, like I am not standing for that. Either you were brought up in that culture and you've broken out of it, like Lilith, she left, you know, she was subordinated by Adam, expected to like defer to him and expected to lie sort of underneath him, so to speak, and all of that. And she was like, no, I'm not subordinate to you, and I don't have to be forced into anything that I don't want to, and like we are equals. It's all about I'm getting this strong equal thing, equal access. And Lilith was like, we are equals, I'm not less than you. And so she left, she left the Garden of Eden and was like, right, I'm going my own way. And she went. And then there's, of course, in all the patriarchal religions, there's loads of like nonsense about her being all, as you can imagine, because it's a woman doing her own thing and not deferring to male authority, which the political powers of the day had to like, you know, weave in a whole story around like how evil that was. And so there's just all this stuff about her and demons and eating babies and nonsense like that, but that's all nonsense. So really it's about like owning your power and not accepting abuse, not accepting that you have to defer to anyone else, accepting that you're valuable for who you are, particularly as a woman, but it doesn't have to be. You can identify any way, and this energy can still apply. But it's just that sense of like empowerment and being like, I'm not taking crap from anyone, and I'm not deferring to anyone else, and I'm equal. So it could be, yeah, because of gender, it could be because of sex, it could be because of race, because of culture, because of like class, So there may be some cultural thing here, or something around like either you were made to feel this way, or you've lived in a culture or observed another culture where, say, women are made to feel this way, or you know, people of a certain class are made to feel like they need to defer, you know, to a higher class or whatever it is, and you're like that's bullshit, that's unenlightened. Like, you're here as this teacher to like bring enlightenment to people, help people stand up for themselves. So it's that real, like, yeah, kind of really empowered energy. So yeah, you may have had to do this in your own life, or even if you haven't had to do it for yourself, you have a strong desire to do it for others. It's like you have this fire in your belly to be like, well, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to like support any system that says that, like, you know, women should defer to men. So like you go and teach something like, I don't know, like women's empowerment courses, or just help set up schools and cultures where they don't educate girls, or, you know, whatever it is, something along those lines. So really powerful energy, power 3. I love it. And I feel like, again, like a lot of that kind of stuff, it's like there's probably no real I don't imagine there's necessarily a load of like fortune and recognition and all that kind of stuff and something like that, but like through your generosity and helping like educate people who maybe wouldn't have access to this kind of thing, then you will receive abundance in some way that you may not expect. Or maybe you'll get investment, or maybe like you'll get like there'll be like you know, a philanthropist will like come along and support your cause or something like that. You know, it's like whatever the needs, your own needs, as well as like the needs of the people that you're here to teach and support, will be taken care of, is what I'm getting. You've got yin yang with card number 22. Let me get the other cards out, and I want to get these in context. So your other energy card was Magician in the Mirror, 53. So yeah, I'm kind of getting about manifesting the power, like power again, self-empowerment. Actually, I want to put that with the Lilith card. I'm going to put that there and put this with Lilith, because it's like, yeah, the power to kind of manifest. Magician in the Mirror energy is like, it's a bit like the Magician card in tarot. So having the power to, like, the power in your own hands to manifest what you want. So like Lilith was like, no, screw that. I'm not going to stay in something, in a situation where I'm not being valued, or I'm not seen as worthy, I'm not seen as equal. I'm going to go and start my own colony. I have the power to do that. I have the power to manifest what I want. And she did. So like, that's that Magician energy. It's like the power, you have the power to manifest something. So if you want to go and, like, I don't know, start your own school somewhere, or teach something, or start your own business where you're sharing your spiritual wisdom, or you want to start a charity, or whatever it might be, it's like you have the power to manifest that. There's something around finding a balance between kind of yin feminine energy and yang masculine energy. So like, or like between that sort of active and receptive energy. Let's get the other cards and we'll see in context. We've got card number 18 with stimulation, and we've got Aries energy here, fire energy. So fire sign. And then we've got the Mystic Rose, compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, and grace. And we've got Madonna of Roses. So you've got, it's interesting because that's like a picture of the Madonna there, with the blue dress and the Mystic Rose. And then we've got Madonna of Roses, so roses in both cards, and that kind of Madonna energy. Interesting. Let me just move these up all in the shot. Okay, I love how these two cards, the colors are like this really deep purple kind of color, the Lilith and this Madonna. There's something around with heart of a woman here, and Lilith, and the Mystic Rose, compassion, devotion, humanity, grace. It's like, it's kind of like this work that you're going to do, or that you're doing, or have been doing. It requires your specific, like, it's like you've got the heart to do this, you've got the compassion, you've got the devotion, you've got the grace, you've got the skill, you've got both the sort of the yin and yang energy, you've got both the feminine, intuitive, receptive, supportive, caring, nurturing energy, as well as the yang energy to like take action and make something happen and manifest and like deal with maybe the business side of it, or the funding side, or the financial side, or whatever it might be. That sort of fire energy, that get up and go energy, that action taking energy. It's like you've got a nice balance, a nice harmony of both, or like harmonizing both those two sides. That sort of logical, active, fiery, forward, progressive energy, with that sort of heartfelt kind of compassionate energy is like kind of what I'm hearing is like the key to your success. I'm getting with the feather here. There might be something like this is like a scribe. There might be something that you're writing. Stimulation. I'm also kind of getting like financial stimulus from this. Like maybe there's a need to or you will get some kind of financial stimulus, like a financial stimulus package, or like a financial stimulus, like I guess like funding or a grant or support or something like that, through maybe like a letter that you write, or through some writing that you do about your work. Maybe you write a book, or you write a blog, or you write on social media, or you write some letters of outreach to people about this cause that you're passionate about, this cause you're devoted to, or this work that you're doing in some way, or someone sees the work that you're doing. It could be mystical work with the mystic rose. It could be sort of spiritual teaching, spiritual wisdom, or it could be, like I said, like being a teacher or communicating knowledge or skills, training people who haven't maybe had access to that. And then someone may see the work that you're doing. There may be like, I don't know, a news article could go out, and then like you get this financial stimulus comes through, you get this support through. It's something with that air, this sort of chili, because we've got stimulation, it's the chili plant here. It's like, this is something that you're fired up about. It's like it fires you up. It's kind of linked with that Lilith energy of like, what are you most passionate about? What most fires you up? What do you like not want to stand for in the world? Like what cause are you most devoted to? Like what's in your heart? What are you most passionate about? What sort of injustice, or what kind of injustice are you most like, do you most want to see change? And whatever that is, I feel like you have the power, with that magician in the mirror, you have the power to affect that. I feel like there might be a message in the Rose book about this. The Mystic Rose, where are we? There it is. The rose was a symbol of the goddesses of old, so it's no wonder that when Christianity absorbed large parts of the indigenous Celtic traditions in Europe, the mother goddess, Mother Mary, became associated with the rose. Perhaps the reason Mary is so beloved is because she was the only mother goddess who could be worshipped safely, and as such carries with her the devotion and yearning of all those who long to worship the goddess in a feminine form. Mary's connection with the rose is seen in some of her titles, including Rosa Mystica, the Mystic Rose, and the Rose Without Thorns. Like those of the pagan goddesses before her, the processions that honored Mary involved walking on rose petals. The church altered the stories of goddesses past, including those that featured roses such as Aphrodite, turning the white rose red with her blood, putting Mary in the goddess's place. Churches were erected all over Europe and beyond, in many cases on the site of Celtic temples and places of goddess worship. Many have beautiful rose windows in the west, the direction of the feminine, in dedication to Mary, Mother of the Rose. This is a card of compassion, devotion, and grace. It encourages us to soften toward humanity and to endeavor to see the world and even those who have hurt us with understanding, an open heart, and deep humility, to see that we all carry hurt and are wounded. We have all experienced severing. Mother Mary is inviting you to open your heart to humanity when you most want to close. And the soul inquiry is, how are you being called to show compassion today? Yeah, this is a strong message coming through pile 3 around, like, you're being invited to open your heart to humanity when you most want to close. And then with that ocean generosity and what I was speaking about at the beginning about, the book was talking about being generous with your, the very experience of giving and being generous with your heart, time, money, assistance, kindness, and care will provide more value than you can imagine. So yeah, how can you be generous with your heart? How can you be generous with your time, with your energy, with your kindness, with your care, with your wisdom? There's something you're being invited to step into. There's something you're being invited to give of yourself in some way. How can you open your heart to humanity? There's some kind of big cause. I feel like you're here to be devoted, here to show your devotion to it, here to bring compassion to, maybe some situation or some people who have been where they've been through some sort of severing themselves, where they've been through some kind of wounding or something. Let's read the Heart of a Woman card. Okay, so the Madonna of Roses card, I should say, not Heart of a Woman. There is a way to be fierce that doesn't betray the kindness of your heart. When you know that to enable someone to behave badly towards you doesn't help them or you don't need to subject yourself to unnecessary guilt for taking care of yourself or fear that you aren't being compassionate. You are teaching yourself and others the truth that love is based in respect, and that trying to take what doesn't belong to you through any form of aggression or manipulation, seduction or persuasion is neither loving nor respectful. Thorns are sharp because they need to be. They don't diminish the beauty of the rose, they protect it. Yeah, it's very strong Lilith energy in this message as well, about love being based in respect. That is exactly what Lilith's message is. It's like, if you don't respect, if she was like to Adam, if you don't respect me, if you don't see me as your equal, if you see me as needing to be defer to you and be subordinate to you and be under you, then this isn't going to work, because that's not love. It's not based on respect. If you try to take from me by being the more powerful one, or seeing yourself as a more powerful one who has the right to take, my sexual energy from me whenever you want, which is essentially what Adam was saying, then that's not okay. And so she left. So there's something around like power and respect and love. Thorns are sharp because they need to be. They don't diminish the beauty of the rose, they protect it. So something about like boundaries and self-protection. Maybe that's something that you're here to teach others about. Maybe you've gone through some difficult situation related to that, and you're here to help teach others. Maybe it could be young women as well, or young people, or other people who are in a culture where women are demeaned or devalued or expected to kind of defer or give up, like any kind of sexual rights or rights to their body. You may be feeling called to teach something around that. That's that like sense of, having boundaries, putting up boundaries, having the right to have those thorns. Thorns are there to protect the rose. So the spiritual guidance is, your soul is a holy rose, a sublime creation under the care and protection of the Madonna of Roses. The soul that is a holy rose holds an exquisite spiritual perfume. She goes through struggles early on in life that teach her when she will need to protect herself from those people or situations that would try to cut her off from what vitalizes and inspires her with life. She is taught to recognize those that would steal her away from her destiny and try to use her for their own selfish purposes. That's Lilith energy. She knows that people who try to use her do not love her. They are interested in what they can gain from her, not what they can share and create together with her. So she is not shy to let such unworthy hands that grasp after her feel the piercing of her thorns. By the time she reaches spiritual maturity, fully blooming as the rose, she understands that she is here on this planet to heal many souls with her inner divine feminine beauty. She can only do this when she takes care of herself. She can allow others to love her, but she can never put her well-being or safety into the hands of anyone other than herself and the Divine Mother who watches over her. She is her own woman, this holy rose, a living temple of the goddess, bringing heavenly beauty to earth. And the sacred ritual is, say this prayer aloud. The Madonna of Roses blesses me with the wisdom to share myself with those that truly love me. I forgive those that have tried to use me, and I forgive myself for allowing myself to be used. Now it is time to start anew with strong thorns of protection. My rose soul blooms for all to behold. Wow. Okay, so I think those are all the messages I have. I don't think there's any other channel messages, but I will finish up with some sacred self-care cards. Goddess Oshun, could I have some sacred self-care cards? What does pile 3 need to do? Connect with your ancestors. Yeah, okay. So I feel like for some of you, pile 3, connecting with your ancestors will help you increase your self-worth and step into the abundance that you deserve, or attract the abundance that you deserve. There may be some ancestral messages that are here for you. So maybe doing some kind of shamanic journeying, or whatever it is that you do personally to connect with your ancestors. You could just say a prayer, or like you could, you know, there's plenty of guided meditations on YouTube, or connect with a medium if you want to get messages, or a reader who has mediumship abilities and can connect with your ancestors, or shamanic abilities to connect with your ancestors. Because I feel like there's some sort of specific message from your ancestors about like your lineage, or about what you're here to do. And I feel like with the third eye being highlighted here, this is something that you'll see very intuitively. Like you'll get more clarity, you'll get more insight, you'll get more, yeah, like an idea, more of a inclination of like where you're headed, of what's coming for you. Let's see if there's any other. Someone wanted to come out. Use your hands. It might be something that you're here to make physically, or like doing something practical, or doing something physical with your hands. Maybe very helpful to tap into that. I'm hearing to like heal your yin energy. So yeah, maybe doing some kind of pottery, or jewelry making, or making something with your hands, even cooking, or whatever it is, using your hands in some way, some kind of craft work or something. It could also be a way to connect with your ancestors. Maybe if you were taught something, like I'm hearing knitting or something like that by an elder ancestor, or how to make something like craft, like weave baskets or something like that. That could be a way to like both ground your energy, connect with your yin energy, and also connect in with your ancestors. You may get some wisdom or insight or knowledge. Oh, that one feels like it wants to come out. Journal. Yeah, journaling for guidance. I feel like maybe doing some stream of consciousness journaling. It's interesting, we've got the yin yang symbol here again. So twice, a double message about yin yang, a double message about balancing that masculine and feminine energy, which actually came out in definitely part 1 as well. There was something around that too, possibly even part 2 had it as well, I forget. But yeah, doing some kind of journaling, like asking for guidance, asking your ancestors for guidance, doing stream of consciousness journaling, getting up first thing in the morning, even if you have to get up 15 minutes earlier, and just like write, just write what comes through, and allow for ideas, allow for stimulation, allow for like some creative ideas to come through about like how you can step into your purpose, how you can communicate your knowledge, your experience, your skills, your wisdom. Like, what is it you're here to teach? What is it you're here to share with the world? How can you be of service? How can you be compassionate to others and open yourself to the world? What is it that you're here to do? And trust that you'll be led and guided to the right opportunities, and you'll receive the right abundance. Like I said, potentially not from the same people that you're giving your gifts and wisdom to, but maybe from some other source in some way. I'm hearing one more. Alone time. Yeah, like Lilith, that's independent energy, needing to spend time alone to recharge, like not be at anyone else's demand. Maybe for some of you, like I was speaking with the Madonna of Roses card, there was a lot around like self-respect and boundaries and the thorns. So maybe making sure that you're carving out time, setting those healthy energetic boundaries, carving out time for you to be, it's like this figure's in the sea with this like sort of clear aura, like this clear energy around her. So possibly getting into the ocean or the sea or a body of water, or even just a bath, or connecting with the element of water through the shower, or even like just through listening to water music on YouTube, ocean noises, or those kind of soundscape kind of videos on YouTube, or frequencies that will help you clear your energy. But yeah, making sure that you're carving out time to be alone. You'll receive the wisdom, the insight, the guidance on how you can best serve, how you can best be generous with your time and energy. Because there's definitely, for this pile very strongly, I feel like there's some sort of, maybe for some of you, if you are already quite financially stable and you have more than enough money to give, it may be like you're being called to be generous with your abundance. For others of you, if you don't feel like you're there yet, maybe one day you will be, and you'll be able to be in a position to be financially generous. But for now, it may be more just being generous with like your skills, with your gifts, with your wisdom. Maybe it's like volunteering at like a community center, teaching something, or working with a group of people who, like I said, they may not have access to something, so you're able to give them access to that knowledge, that learning, that wisdom that they didn't have. It could be, teaching with the Lilith energy there, and the Madonna of the Roses. It could be something about like you teach, because you've had to learn the hard way around carving out boundaries and self-respect, and like setting protective boundaries, and not being taken advantage of, or not being disempowered in some way, whether it's in like a love relationship or any other kind of relationship. Being independent, not being disempowered, not being subjected to anyone else's will or anything like that. Being the magician in your own life, like being able to manifest what you want in your life, being the center of your power kind of thing. Oh, and I've just noticed the infinity symbol on the top of his head as well, which is also kind of linked with the like kind of yin yang energy. So yeah, I feel like you have a strong spiritual connection, strong spiritual, strong ancestral connection, pile number 3. And I feel like a strong intuitive connection, connecting with that through journaling, through like doing sort of meditative tasks with your hands, where you can kind of zone out and you're not really operating from that sort of yang energy, that logical part of your brain that's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this, how am I going to afford it, how am I going to get the money for this, or how am I going to like support this cause, or how are we going to get money for this charity, or whatever it is. It's like if you can kind of disconnect from that part and just like go into the zone and kind of do something creative, do something with your hands where you're not kind of logically thinking, where you might be sort of blocking the abundance. Because like coming back to what I was saying at the beginning about how there might be abundance trying to come to you, or there might be support, there might be some kind of stimulus trying to come to you, some kind of like financial gift or funding or something like that you haven't even thought of. And I feel like maybe by like disconnecting from sort of what you can logically see around you and like just doing something that gets you into your yin energy, into that receptive energy, into like just playing and enjoying your time and being in that sort of meditative state, some kind of creative insight, inspiration, idea might just come through. And I feel like your ancestors are kind of waiting to give that to you, because I feel like this cause that you're passionate about, or this thing that kind of fires you up, or this wisdom that you're here to teach, it's like they're kind of all behind you, the way they're standing behind this figure here, like really supporting you to bring this out. Because I feel like this is something that maybe it could have even been a type of disempowerment that like your whole family or your ancestors were also subjected to, because like if it was related to culture or race or gender, like all your female ancestors were subjected to this, because in your culture, women weren't allowed to be educated, or they had to be subordinate to their husbands, or they had to just put up with abuse, or they had to, whatever it might have been. And you're like here to kind of be like the pattern breaker and the first in your all the generations to like be like, no, enough. With that Madonna of the Roses, it was like saying like a lot to do with boundaries and self-respect, and being like, that is not love, like that's control, and so there may be something here around like, teaching others that and passing on that wisdom, like you've had to learn that, or you've witnessed that in your own family, and you're here to be like, no more. Like I'm, you're that Lilith energy, that really strong empowered energy of like walking away from love or any situation that is actually trying to get something from you, use you, control you in some way. There may be messages for some of you in pole 2. There was a little bit of there was a bit of a situation in pole 2 with control, so there may be, if you feel called to, there may be possibly some messages there as well. But for most of you in this pile, I feel like you're perhaps, it's almost like this pile is an extension of pile 2, and that it's kind of the next stage along, or you're a little bit further along in your journey maybe, and you're kind of more at a stage of like perhaps formalizing the healing that you've done and the wisdom that you've gained, and then actually being in a position now of teaching that and sharing it with others. Manifesting something, that magician energy. It's like you're now in a stronger, more empowered energy to like manifest this in some way, whatever this is, being this teacher, this guide, this healer, this protector, or whatever it is. And you will get the support, I feel like. But just do some journaling, connect with your ancestors, do some work with your hands, see what comes through. I feel like some kind of idea, some kind of inspiration, some kind of insight, some kind of aha moment will come through about how you can work in this field, or work and like support this cause, or devote yourself to this calling in some way. So I feel like those are all the messages I have for you, pile number 3. I hope that resonated for you. Leave a comment or drop me an emoji below to let me know, and hit the like button. It really helps my channel so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you who has been liking and sharing and commenting. And hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of my community. I would love to have you here. Check out my Patreon. I do more in-depth and pathworking videos, readings with the goddesses. I have 2 tiers on there. I also have a website, elstemple.com. I do private readings. I have a Moon Temple membership, and also I blog every week about the goddesses. And I have a newsletter once a fortnight, every new moon and full moon, where I go into the cosmic goddesses. So sign up to that if you would like to get on that. And there's also exclusive discounts on there as well, and any news about my future programs. So I hope this resonated for you. All the best with stepping into your calling and being generous with your time and energy. Call on Goddess Oshun. Check out that blog post if you feel called to get some more support from Oshun about how to heal your self-worth or how to improve your self-worth. And I will see you in the next reading. All my love.